I want to go ahead and get started talking about Mother's Day because most of us here are teachers, so we know that we like to plan ahead. And we can't let Mother's Day take us by surprise. There's nothing worse than waking up on a Friday morning and realizing that Mother's Day is Sunday and you have nothing. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about that with you. So the first thing I wanted to talk about are some of the hot topics that are involved with Mother's Day. So here's a couple of problems or issues that I know some of you have. So some of the problems are that not all kids live with mom. That's a reality. This is in today's world. Not all kids live with mom. As a matter of fact, there was just a study that came out talking about the number of children being raised by somebody other than their own parents, whether they're being raised by grandparents or by other family members. And that number is huge. And if you teach, you probably have experienced this yourself. I know a number of people personally who are doing this as grandparents, raising children. So what's happening is some schools in some places don't acknowledge Mother's Day at all, because such a large majority of the kids don't have a mother at home and they're not being raised by mothers. So simply the term Mother's Day alienates their population. And you know what? That is so sad. That breaks my heart that we're not acknowledging the people who care for the children, whether they're the mother or not. We need to acknowledge and give respect and honor to those people who are caring for the kids, whether they're grandmothers or family members or whatever. So I'm going to talk about a few ideas of things you can use that would work for any caregiver, whoever cares for the child, whether that's a foster parent, a grandparent, a family member. It doesn't matter, that these gifts will work for anybody, because that's one of the biggest things I hear from teachers is, oh, we don't do Mother's Day, or we can't do Mother's Day, or I can't do it this year because I have a kid who lives, somewhere else with a different family member and it would be awkward. There's also the situation of divorce, and a lot of kids have more than one mom. They have stepmom and so forth. So it becomes a difficult thing to deal with for teachers to handle. So I thought some of these ideas tonight would be fairly generic for you so that you could use them regardless of who is caring for the children in your room. So I hope that appeals to you. Not every topic appeals to everybody. So another problem with Mother's Day is that it falls in May, which is great, right? It's getting close to the end of the year. You can do all kinds of great fun stuff with flowers in spring. And then what happens with Father's Day, right? Father's Day gets completely ignored because, at least where I live and in a good portion of the South, we're out of school by June, so or at least early June. So we're not around for Father's Day. So what happens is dads don't get anything, right? I know a lot of us do muffins for mom and donuts for dad and all that stuff, but we don't get anything special for Father's Day. And then you have the same problems. Not all kids live with a father or know their father and so forth. So that becomes a problem. So I have a couple of ideas to kind of combine Mother's Day and Father's Day because, and if you're a teacher, the end of the year is the craziest time of the year. And so in June or in May, the last thing you need is one more thing to do, one more party to prepare, one more project to do. You've got tons and tons of stuff on your plate. So hopefully some of these ideas will work for you. So the first thing I wanted to let you know about, and we'll be putting some links in the comments here with some of these resources for you so you can go back and grab them and quickly find them again. You can also pin them. But I do have at Pre-K Pages, let's see if I can hold this up. I do have some Mother's Day posts that are already there for you. So if you want to see what we've already posted about Mother's Day gifts, you can go ahead and do that. And I like this one because it is fairly generic. And so this one, it's contact paper or sticky paper and tissue paper. And here we've made like a rear view mirror hanger, and a sun catcher is basically what it is. A sun catcher, the kids could give it to a caregiver. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mom. And then there's also a bookmark idea. If the caregiver is a reader, then a bookmark is always great for anybody, regardless of whether they're male or female. So This particular activity is available on the blog, and there should be a link coming in the comments to this post. Okay, and I put the URL up there for you too. Okay, so that's the contact paper sun catcher. And then we also have on the blog this one. This is really fun because the kids actually make it. It's a sugar scrub, a sugar hand scrub. So this would probably be a gift that's more for a mom or a female caregiver. And there is a little printable label if you wanted to use that. You're more than welcome to do so. That's available for free download at Pre-K Pages. And this is the Mother's Day Sugar Scrub. And I did this last year with a play group, and they had such a blast making this stuff. And if you help them make it, your hands get really soft. And so there is the Mother's Day Sugar Scrub. You can find it at that link, and there's also a link in the comments, so you can go and pin those to your Mother's Day board. I also have a Pinterest board on Pinterest that has lots of Mother's Day ideas that I've just collected from around the internet that I like, and a lot of those could be turned into a more generic, instead of saying Mother's Day or Father's Day, you could use them as a more generic ideas. So there's a whole lot of that there on Pinterest. I also have a roundup post with some of my favorites. One of my absolute favorites is a flower pot with the child inside, so a large flower pot, and that one's from Kathy Griffin's Teaching Strategies. So you can go to my Pinterest board or my roundup post and get that idea. It's super cute. It's a photo op. I think that anytime you're making a gift for a loved one, if you can incorporate the child's picture, then it becomes much more than just a craft or an activity. It becomes a keepsake, and parents and caregivers love keepsakes. So anytime you can put a child's picture on something, that is a great opportunity, because it doesn't matter if the person who cares for that child is a parent or a other family member. Everyone loves the children that they raise. So putting their picture on there makes it a great keepsake. So that's why I love that idea from Kathy Griffin's Teaching Strategies with the kids in the flower pot. It's super cute. So you want to check that out. And then I have a couple of ideas for you. Okay, so this first idea, let's see. If they can't click on the link, if you can't click on the links, you can see them on desktop. For some reason on Facebook Live, one of the glitches is that if you're viewing on mobile, the links are not clickable, and I'm sure that's something they're working on, because I think that's a little strange. So just so you know, if you want to go back and view it on desktop, you can go back and do that, and the links will be clickable. And I'm so sorry about that, but that is something that hopefully Facebook is working on. They're working out all the little glitches right now. You can also copy and paste those links into your browser. So anyway, also this recording, this will be available for you to watch at any time on the Pre-K Pages Facebook page as soon as we're done recording live. So here is my first idea. I love this. I did something similar for many years, and then I found this idea. Let me see if I can get it. There you go. It is so, so, so cute. And it doesn't say Happy Mother's Day on it. It says somebody loves you. And then you let the kids take their thumb and they can stamp on the flower pot. Now you could do more stamps if you wanted to, and they can put a thumbprint around the outside of the heart. And you could make this a flower shape too. And then this is just tissue paper in here because it helps hold up the, this is a craft stick back here, you know, popsicle stick that I just taped on there, okay? And this is green tissue paper. And then these little pots, I got those at the craft store. You can get them, you know, you can buy them in a large quantity. They're very cheap. But it does involve some cost because you do have to get the pots. But this is super cute. So that's a heart right there. And that's the child's picture, and it says somebody loves you, and then they use their little thumb all around the outside of the pot and around the heart. And this is a great keepsake for caregivers and parents that you could use for Mother's Day. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I just thought it was adorable. My comments are frozen again. So what are they saying, Tom? They like it? He won't speak. Okay, I'm glad you like it. It's super easy to make. The way that I used to do it was I used to fill the bottom of the planter here, the pot. I used to use plastic ones because I didn't want to, I had 2 classes of 22 or more each, so that really added up, and I didn't have a lot of money. I'm sure some of you can relate. So I used plastic cups, and then I filled them with plaster of Paris, and then I put the craft stick in there, and then this was a flower shape with their picture, but I didn't have the thumbprints, and I think that's what makes it extra, extra, extra special. So this one is a keeper for sure. If you have any ideas of super cool, cute Mother's Day activities or crafts or whatever that you've done, we definitely want to hear about that in the comments below, because this is a resource for you all. And then the caregiver or parent could use this as a pencil cup afterwards. I was actually thinking about maybe writing "Somebody Loves You" on the pot itself. And you could totally do that. I don't know why I just chose to do it this way, but you could totally do that. You could have write the kids' names on there. I used to use, and I could not find them this year, so let me know if you know where they live. The terracotta paint markers. They used to make those, and I love those because you can give the kids the markers and they can just decorate the pots with them, and they were awesome. And they made this like it dried so that it was completely hard and it didn't flake off. It was a really cool product. They were made by a company called Fooey, F-O-O-E-Y, I think, or something like that. And they were awesome, but I could not find them at the store anymore, and they were great. So this is just acrylic paint that I used here. And you could totally use tempera paint up here. Whatever you want to do to tweak it and make it special for your parents and caregivers of the kids in your classroom. So that's one idea. And I've shared some links with you so you can see it. There you go. Okay. I've shared some links with you in the comments to other resources that you can use for Mother's Day ideas in the classroom. And another one that, and I know what else I was going to show you. This one is one that I remember doing in kindergarten. That's what a vivid memory it was to me. We planted marigolds for our moms. So you could actually take that pot and you could actually plant a marigold in it. Instead of putting the green tissue paper, you could plant marigolds and have them ready for Mother's Day, and that would be super cute. So I remember planting marigolds in kindergarten. It's a very vivid memory that I have. So it's something that your kids will really enjoy doing, and it's something that they kind of made for mom, right? So they will love planting those, and you could do the same thing with the pot with the thumbprints and put "Somebody Loves You" and all that good stuff. You could still do the same thing, but planting marigolds is a classic Mother's Day gift. I haven't done it recently, but I have heard on the interwebs that they're very easy to grow. So let's hope. I remember one year we bought them at a nursery, like a plant nursery, and they gave us a flat, and then we just transplanted them into the pots, and that was fun too if you have any extra funds or budget money. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you, and I hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. I just want to welcome all the new viewers. I'm Vanessa Levin from Pre-K Pages. We're talking about Mother's Day gifts, and if you're just coming in, this broadcast will be available as soon as I'm done talking tonight, and you can watch it from the beginning right here on the Pre-K Pages Facebook page. So, what do we have coming in, Tom? He's doing my comments for me. Sugar scrub in the baby jars, that is on the Pre-K Pages blog. So if you go to Pre-K Pages and type Mother's Day in the search box, you can get the recipe there, and there's a little printable label that you can use on that, and links to everything in there. And it's a super fun thing that kids can actually make, so it feels real special to them, and of course fun for their parents too. And it's super inexpensive because it's just like sugar. And I think it's like 2 or 3 ingredients at the most, so it's super, super easy to make. Nothing expensive. The jars would be really your only expense, and they're fairly inexpensive. It depends on how big your class is. Again, if you have 2 classes of 22 kids, you're pretty limited on what you could do. If you have 2 classes of 22 kids, I would probably do this pot, only I would use a cup. I would do this one with a cup, a plastic cup, because then you don't really have much expense at all. You got a craft stick paper, tissue paper, and a plastic cup. That's probably what I would do if I had 2 classes, 2 large classes of kids, and you don't, you can't afford to do much when you have such large classes. And that's a whole other broadcast. Hey, I should write that down. Large class sizes. Okay, so I'm going to start on another idea in just a moment. Tom's furiously writing down a hot topic for me to chat with you about. A question or comment that came in. Unfortunately, he went to the handwriting school that doctors go to. Decorated wax paper, wrap around a candle. Ooh, and use a hairdryer? Ooh, I like it. I've never heard of that one before. Do you know how much time I spend on the internet? I've heard of everything, and I haven't heard of that one before. I'm totally going to look that up and pin it as soon as I can, as soon as we're done here. A bouquet of flowers with construction paper handprints. Anything with handprints, oh my gosh. Kids' pictures and handprints, 2 of the best keepsakes ever, right? Anything you can do with their handprints is awesome. So this next idea, this came about because I have 2 people in my life that I know of, they're friends, colleagues, whatever, that are raising children that are not their own, whether they're their grandchildren or their siblings of the parents or whatever. And it makes me sad that they don't get acknowledged during these events like Mother's Day or Father's Day or whatever. So I created this. This is kind of a sneak peek. It's like a tease. And this is a VIP tea. So a lot of people do a Mother's Day tea. Have you ever heard of that? Having a Mother's Day tea at your in your classroom for moms, right? And that's super fun and something I always wanted to do. I thought it would be great, but the number of children being raised by their mom in my classroom was always not 100%. So I would have felt bad to have any child excluded from that. So I was thinking about a way to include anybody who cares for the child. So I came up with this idea of a VIP. And VIP stands for very important person. And this way, it can be anybody who loves or cares for the child. Now, you're going to have to limit it because some kids will show up with like 10 people. But it's an alternative to a Mother's Day tea. So you could use this. Grandparents' tea is fun too. So this could be anybody. It could be, you could use grandparents for this too. Just a VIP, a very important person tea. So this is something that I'm working on right now, and I hope to have ready on the blog, hopefully in the next 2 days. I can't make any promises, but we do have a little bit of time before Mother's Day. So this is just the cover, and I do have a few glimpses of what's coming. So this is an alternative for Mother's Day so that you can include all kids in your Mother's Day activity. So this would be just a very important aunts. Yep, absolutely. A lot of kids. I have had several children being raised by their aunt. Absolutely. So a VIP tea could be a very important person in the life of that child. So some of the things that are going to be included in that, an invitation, right? If it's a party, you want an invitation. I mean, we have to have an invitation if we're going to have a party. So here is the invitation. And now for men, I know you're thinking, if you want to combine your Mother's Day and your Father's Day, This looks a little girly, but I think you could do iced tea for the men, don't you think? And I'm a woman and I love iced tea, so you could totally do iced tea for this event. Plus, it's going to have to be lukewarm anyway because you have kids in the classroom. So this is an invitation that you can send home with the parents and caregivers of your kids. And you can also put, an RSVP on there and limit the number of adults so that you don't end up with 800 people in your tiny, tiny little classroom. How did I know you had a tiny classroom? Because for some reason they always put tiny little children in tiny little classrooms, but they pack them into too many. So that's one of the things that's in the VIPT packet. Of course, you're going to want to have your cute pennant bunting banner. So I've got the VIPT banner ready for you to print and cut out and hang over your buffet table with your treats and your tea. So there'll be little place cards, table tents where you can put one for each very important person at the table. The VIP of Brandon, the VIP for Clarice, so that person will know where to sit. And there'll be little cupcake toppers, but if you can't have cupcakes in the classroom, that's fine. You could put them on little sandwich triangles, like those little cute hors d'oeuvre things, you could put those on toothpicks and put them in there. There'll be all kinds of fun stuff in there so that you can easily create a VIPT for not only the parents, the moms, the dads, and the caregivers of the kids in your class. So let me just check the comments and see if they've come back yet. I'm really impressed that we haven't dropped out during this. Okay, yes, the flower pot. Yeah, I'm actually going to blog about this. This is actually another sneak peek. This whole episode is a sneak peek. I taped it. You could glue it. It's up to you. If I glued it, I would have had to have let it set for a long time, and then the odds of it sticking were only like 50-50, so I just taped it. No biggie. Oh yes, frames from popsicle sticks, always a good one, and then they can decorate them, and then of course you're gonna have a photo in there, so it's gonna be a photo op. Absolutely. At your Mother's Day tea, you can actually have, and this will be really fun, have some dress-up props there, like necklaces and scarves and stuff like that, and the kids can kind of dress up and take their picture with their caregiver, holding cups of tea or glasses of iced tea, and then you'll have a cute little photo memory that you can send home with the parents. Of course, they're all going to be using their phones anyway, so they'll already have one. But you could make a collage. You could use it in an end of the year video. Wouldn't that be cute to use your photos that you took at your VIPT in an end of the year video that you're creating? I know a lot of you do that. There are lots of ideas out there on the internet for that. If you've never done one, super fun, and parents just adore it. It's really something special that they just love. So, anything else, Tom? Let's see. Natalie says, white handprint lilies with love notes and green pipe cleaner stems. Yes, I love pipe cleaners. Anything with handprints. And Lisa says, put paper in a blender with water, mold into a flower-shaped cookie cutter, add seeds, let dry, and moms can plant. I love it. We recently had a post on the blog about making paper with seeds, and I think that's probably the same recipe. So I like the idea of the flower mold. That is super cute. I haven't heard of that one either. You guys are just full of surprises tonight. I can't wait to get on Pinterest after this and look for those ideas. Because I'm always looking for new stuff, especially for these tough holidays like Mother's Day and Father's Day, where it's super important to the caregivers and parents of the kids in your class that they're acknowledged, just like you get acknowledged, hopefully, on Teacher Appreciation Day. So do you have any other questions, Tom?
Sculpts clay cut into flower flower shape with thumbprint, bake, and string-on necklace.
Oh, yes, the thumbprint necklace. That is a good one. Now, I know that my friend Cheryl at Teaching 2 and 3-year-olds, she has a great post on that. That's where I have last seen that idea, but I'm sure there's lots of them out there. So look for that one. Thumbprint necklace is a super fun one to do that will be very meaningful to moms. Egg cartons made into flowers. I've seen those. I love those. One thing that you can do if you're going to have a VIP tea, and this is another thing that I've done in the past that works really well, is make coffee filter flowers. So have your kids just like set up a table during center time and let your kids have at it. Let them color coffee filters till the cows come home and squirt them, let them dry, and then wrap the green chenille stems, pipe cleaners, around the ends and make big bouquets of beautiful watercolor flowers, and then put those out on the tables for your Mother's Day tea. So the kids made the flowers, and they're of course helping you set up the tea, and then a placemat. Have them make a placemat, and with the placemats, I totally forgot about this until just now. With the placemats, we've been talking a lot about handprints and how, you know, it's a handprint is a keepsake. So if you made something like this, it has their little picture on it, and we've talked about this already, so you can go back and watch the replay when we're done to see how we made this. And then make a placemat for each person that comes to the tea, each VIP to that child. And they put their 2 handprints on the paper. And you can choose whatever color works best for you and your kids. But have them put 2 handprints on it. And then, you know, you can put, you know, VIP tea and the date. It'll be a great, great memory. Have the child write his or her name in between those 2 handprints. Make sure you put the date. Parents love anything that has a date on it. So, and then you can laminate those and put those out as placemats on the table. And it's a keepsake that they can take home too. Deanna says, make corsages for the moms to wear the Friday before Mother's Day. Oh, isn't that precious? A corsage for mom to wear to the tea, or they can just take it home. I love it. You guys are full of great ideas tonight. I love it. I think that's wonderful. It could be a boutonniere if it was for a man, right? Wonderful. What else is coming in, Tom?
Painting on Rock Buddies, Mom, You Rock.
Oh, I've seen that. Painting on rocks. And if for Mother's Day, you can say, Mom, you rock. Or for Dad, for Father's Day, you can say, Dad, you rock. And it's painted on a rock. I mean, and then it can be a paperweight on the parent or caregiver's desk. I love it. Wonderful, wonderful idea. So, just to give you a quick recap, we have been talking about Mother's Day tonight and gifts that you can make in the classroom. We talked about the challenges, the problem with not all kids having a mom, and we talked about how Mother's Day and Father's Day compete with each other, and there's not always time during this busy season. We talked about how to make these wonderful Somebody Loves You craft gifts, keepsakes for somebody special in the child's life. And it doesn't have the word mom on it or dad, so it could be for anybody. And we also talked about planting marigold seeds. I love the idea of planting something, because then the parent can plant it, you know, as soon as it grows, they can actually plant it at home. And, you know, and the kids can be involved in the caring of it, and it will just be a great, great memory for the kids and the parent and caregiver. So planting marigolds is another one. And then we talked about, in the comments, there should be links to the Mother's Day ideas at Pre-K Pages. I have, currently I have 3 posts over there full of great ideas for Mother's Day. One of them is very generic, could be used for a caregiver or a mom or a dad. So go over there and check that out. I have one sugar scrub idea that's super fun, and kids can actually make it, so they feel it's very meaningful to the kids when they're involved in the very heavily in the creation of the gift. And then I have a roundup post with all kinds of great ideas, and I'm really drawn to the Mother's Day ideas and the ideas to have kids' pictures and handprints for keepsakes for parents and caregivers. And then I gave you all a little sneak peek of my upcoming forthcoming VIP tea packet that's coming out in the next few days that you'll be able to use to have a very important person tea in your classroom, so that it's a Mother's Day alternative. So if you have kids that are not being raised by mom, those kids and families don't feel left out of your celebrations. So I shared a little bit of that with you, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank you so much for being such a kind community here at Pre-K Pages. I have to tell you that earlier today, I tried to watch some live broadcasts every day just to get an idea of, you know, what's working out there and what's not. And I was watching one, and it was very sweet, heartfelt broadcast from another blogger. And somebody left really mean comments for that mom, and I was so sad because for her, but then I was so grateful because nobody here has done that so far. And this is my 12th broadcast, so that says a lot for you, a lot about you all. And I just want to thank you so much for being so kind and supportive and professional during our live broadcasts. I couldn't ask for a better group. So what you're going to want to do before we go tonight is you're going to want to subscribe in some way so that you can be notified whenever we go live here at Pre-K Pages. Now we do have a regularly scheduled time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday and Wednesday, and with rotating topics. Tonight was Mother's Day, but you can subscribe to these live broadcasts in a couple of ways. On the Pre-K Pages Facebook page, if you're on desktop, mobile is totally different. But there is an events section on the left side of your screen, and you can go there and you can subscribe to the updates, and then you'll get a notification reminding you of the event so that you don't miss out. And you can also subscribe to my blog. And what happens there is every time I have, a couple times a week, I'll send you an email that has all the new blog posts so you don't miss anything. And then I also send you links to these live broadcasts. So if you can't come to these live, and not all of us can, you can watch the replay right through your email. You can just click on the link and it'll take you right there so you don't have to search for it, because we're all very, very busy. So I'm Vanessa Levin from Pre-K Pages, and I'm going to sign off tonight. Thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with me about Mother's Day ideas. I can't wait to go to Pinterest and look up some of your awesome ideas that you shared with us tonight. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a great night. See you Wednesday.